Here we gonna go live. Good evening, and yes, it is. It's 9:30 on a Tuesday evening, and we're going to be talking about all the subject. It's all about mental health and everything. How are you feeling today? Me today, I've been a bit, down and everything. Sometimes it's up and down. We all get our ups and downs every day, but we're alive, and that's all what counts. How are you, Mark?
I'm fine. It's been a bit of a strange old weekend, really, with bank holiday and the weather. It's Britain. What can you expect? A rainy bank holiday. Just got to get on with it, really. Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah. I think sometimes when we have weather like this, and we feel so gloomy, we can't go anywhere and everything else like that. Then when it's like sunny and everything, something gets in your way and you can't go out anyway, or you've got to make another appointment. Say, you know what I mean? So,
you got to go to work. But I think I don't think the fact that it's been a terrible weekend weather-wise, certainly this year, for this bank holiday weekend, I don't think anyone's really noticed, because you can't really do much anyway. No. It's still a little bit too cold for some people to go to beer gardens and what have you. But summer's coming, so.
Oh yes, summer's coming, and you were telling me just now your gigs are coming up soon.
Yeah, I've got my first gig in 2 weeks today, and it's going to be my first gig that I've done for, is it about 7 or 8 months? It's been quite a while, and I'm just raring to go. I cannot wait.
So you're getting your manual out and saying, "Oh, how do I do this again?"
Yeah. What are the words to the wanderer again? Those old problems, which I'll be happy to have. To be honest with you, that they're good problems to have.
Good, and you can earn some money at the same time, can't you?
Yeah, only a bit of money, sadly, but it's more than the earning money, really, and that sounds. That might sound a little bit unrealistic and a little bit glib. Of course, earning money is a nice thing, but for me, it's getting back out there and doing something that I really enjoy, and something which was very, very good for my own mental health up until March of last year. The whole thing of singing the songs that I like singing, making my own money, and and you don't realise how important those things are until it's taken away from you. So it's almost like getting some control back.
Yeah, I can understand that one. How have you been coping through all this? Because because as an entertainer, all you can do is just go on Facebook, and and it's fine, and all, and I've been watching all the Elvis ETAs. They're doing a good, fantastic job, really good job. But the trouble is, see, people want to get back to normal again, don't they?
Yeah, and connect with audiences, real audiences. I think I mentioned this last week. It's, I've done a few Facebook shows or live feeds from home.
Yeah.
Haven't done that many because I'm sick to death of Facebook police stepping on in and cutting the shows short for whatever reason they deem necessary to do that for. But it's you get the feedback, and it's something you can only really, because I prefer to sing and I prefer to put on some sort of a show. Some singers, they'll be there and they'll be interacting and they'll be like reading the comments and what have you, and that's great, nothing wrong with that. But I prefer, but if people are tuning in to watch me sing, because I'm a singer at the end of the day. I'm not an all-round entertainer.
You're old school singer, really, aren't you? Because you're not with the technology. These days people will go, "Oh, Right. Oh, that comment. Okay, that's fine. I will do that in a minute.
Yeah,
But really, with the technology stuff, with you get paid for doing something, and really good on you because you just want to get on with it and
yeah. I
everything.
mean,
Yeah,
some people, they'll read the comments and what have you, and that's great, and that's interacting to some degree, but it's not. It doesn't. It comes nowhere near to that level of appreciation that you get from an audience, and also the appreciation that sort of like get from yourself, really, because when you have a good night, when you're doing a proper gig in a club or a pub, you there's nothing like it, really. It's really, really good when you know that people have enjoyed it. And the live feeds, they're very, very superficial, and I personally don't feel that, that kind of interaction. Afterwards,
no,
you read through the comments and what have you, and you can
yeah,
appreciate what people have been saying a little bit more then. But no, it's about
yeah.
getting back out there, really, and just
Of course it is. I
doing
think
your
it's
thing.
all about. I think the trouble is we can all say, "Oh, we've got so many people on this page," whatnot. But you need to get out there. Really, how many people of them who are actually true followers who will watch your shows week in and week out?
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, what I am really looking forward to, and I had a taste of it last year when we had the first lockdown, and then they opened the pubs up again, and albeit there was restrictions. This was I think it was just before they put the curfews in, but I did a few clubs like I used to do, and people were absolutely gagging for it,
Yeah, they were. Yeah, yeah.
and that's going to wear off eventually. The novelty will soon wear off for people, but I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah. How is your mental health been coping without not doing any music? Because live music really kind of like it can help help your mental health, really, can it?
Music has been my best friend for for many, many years, really. Music has carried me through all through my life, basically, from being a troubled teenager to listening to music
You're a
in
troubled teenager.
I was, yes, sadly.
What were you, a punk mod, skinhead?
No, no, I wasn't anything. I was sort of like my own person, really. I wasn't. I never ran around in a gang. I never had the same interests as people in my class or in my street had. I was quite detached from people,
Were
and I
you
was
a
quite
loner? Were you a loner?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and and it and I wasn't that way for one particular reason. It suited me in probably more than anything because I'm not a very sociable person in terms of I have to be surrounded by people.
Mm.
But I also have I was bullied quite a lot when I was very young for certain things. And that made me quite wary of people. And I used to view people quite negatively as a child. I used to wonder if somebody was being nice, were they being genuine? Because that wasn't something I was
Used to,
particularly
yeah.
used to. I was very untrusting of people, and I think that's something that I've carried through my life, really. But I was quite solitary, really. But and like I say, music was like my best friend, and it was there when I needed it, and then when I was learning to play guitar, for example, and then the few friends that I allowed myself to have, they were like-minded people, so would form a band, and that was like my little gang, and and being able to communicate through music, and then obviously what I'm doing now is pretty much a similar sort of thing, but it's something I do on my own.
Mm. Mm.
But no, it's
Do you prefer being on your own then, Mark?
no, no, I don't prefer it. it depends what you mean by on your own. There's if I like I've got a partner, I've got a girlfriend, and I've got my children, and I've got a group of people that I socialise with, and we're not in each other's pockets. Ellen Roy's one of them, the singer that you've had on, the country singer.
All right, she's lovely, isn't she?
She is, yeah. There's, we all socialise in this thing up here in Yorkshire, and it's singers and what have you, and we all get together on a Tuesday or a Thursday night at various pubs or clubs around our way, and that's sort of like all the socialising that I personally do. I'm not the sort of person that needs to be surrounded by people all the time. I do like to have time to myself, and I'm very fortunate that my girlfriend allows me to be like that. She doesn't feel she's not needy, and she's not demanding like both of my ex-wives have been to some degree, and that, and that's great for me as well, because when I'm feeling really, really, I can sometimes feel quite. I feel like I need to retreat sometimes, and I feel like I can be with people, but I might not feel the need to communicate with them and talk to them.
Yeah, do you feel claustrophobic?
Feel what? Sorry?
Do you feel claustrophobic?
No, not claustrophobic. No, I just feel sometimes I feel like a mobile phone that's on 2% battery, and I just need to be charged up. It's a case, I feel I might feel a little bit flat. I might and I might not feel quiet, and I might not feel detached for any negative reason, because there's days where I can be absolutely bouncing off the walls with banter and energy, and I'm sort of like, I'm flying high on life. And then there's other days where, and I'm not so necessarily depressed, but where I can just be really, really flat, and and I don't feel that way. I don't feel the need to talk or communicate even. And I say I'm very lucky that I've got a partner that understands that and allows that and doesn't feel particularly threatened by that. But going back to your question, no, I wouldn't prefer to be on my own. But I think quite selfishly, it has to be to some degree on my terms.
Yeah. I think we all need to be on our own terms sometimes, don't we? We all need our space, and even if it's going for a walk or something, or kind of like having some time for yourself, we all need that time where we can kind of like sort ourselves out. And as I said to you before, I kind of like one particular time when I was about to jump off a bridge, because life for me was really, really bad, and there was other way, there's no other way of dealing with it. Even though I had a faith, even though I believed in God, I still wanted to jump off this bridge. Many people say, "Oh yeah, but where was your God?" and all that lot. And but no, I wanted to jump off that bridge, but then luckily enough, people came along and saved me, and kind of like, and then I could go and get the help. And the trouble is with people now, they're so afraid to get kind of like help, because it's a stigma towards mental health. They don't want to be labeled, do they? They don't want to be labeled to it.
I mean, I mentioned last week when you had me on that I pushed my way through life for 40 years before I even asked for help. And I only asked for help because I was I was getting physical symptoms of panic attacks and anxiety. I was actually doing a gig for a friend of mine. It was his 60th, and I was convinced during the show, and for no reason whatsoever can I point a finger towards a reason to say this is how I was feeling, or this is what I was going through. But I felt that night like I was going to die. I felt my breathing was off and everything. And then the following day, which was a Sunday, I still had that kind of physical discomfort, and I couldn't even eat. I had a few mouthfuls of my Sunday dinner, and I was absolutely shattered, and I couldn't eat. And I made an appointment to go to the doctor, and she asked me various questions, asked me to fill out that very standard depression questionnaire.
Oh, yeah.
And the next thing I knew, I was going to the chemist and getting sertraline, and I agreed to depression counselling. I was depressed, and it never, and I had never stopped to ask anybody for help. I just pushed myself through life for all those years, and I'm not going to say that when that happened. How many years ago is it now? 11 years ago. I went to the doctor and everything was miraculously cured, because it wasn't. I've had very, very extreme mood swings, and I've had very, very, I've had episodes in my life in the last 10 years which have been very, very detrimental, and to the point where there was a very, very low point about 5 years ago where I was going to bed every night and praying to whoever that please don't let me wake up in the morning. I didn't have any, I didn't have like this master plan or this grand scheme where I was going to kill myself, because I would, I haven't ever got that bad, but I certainly had those times where I didn't want to be here anymore. It would have been the easiest thing. I think the notion of actually enacting my death and pursuing a suicide, obviously the things like, well, how would my children view it, and how would my mum view it, and those kind of considerations were always in the back of my mind, and I used to feel absolutely lousy and guilty for feeling like I didn't want to be here. What on earth? How on earth can you say that when you've got beautiful children? And then I used to beat myself up terribly about that, and then I'd feel not twice as bad. I'd feel 10 times as bad and worthless. So I certainly understand.
The trouble is, though, when you feel so down, though, everything else goes out of the window.
Yeah.
You forget about your children. You forget about your partner. You forget about everything. And what you do is you block them out, and you don't want it. And all you want to do is either kind of like, I got to a point where I just had enough. I just kind of like, I said to, I was going, oh, just take me now. I've had enough. I want to, I've even tried strangling myself. That's how bad it got. Oh yeah. Stabbing myself, all sorts. My wife will tell you,
Right. Yeah.
But but the trouble is, though, it comes to a point where, with about anybody with mental health, that I still think that there's not enough help out there.
No, there isn't. I mean, there's help out there, but it's rationed, and it can also be it can be inappropriate. I got referred for 6 weeks of counselling back in 2014, I think it was 15, and I just thought it was a complete waste of time. And that wasn't me being negative about it or not receptive to it, because I've also had counselling where I've come away and I thought that was absolutely fantastic, and I felt almost cleansed.
Yeah. It's talking therapies, is it?
I've had different forms of therapy, and I would say that the most useful was cognitive behaviour therapy. And then I also had something which I don't know if it's rolled out throughout the rest of the country, but it was called Stress Pack. And it was to deal with, because I suffer with terrible anxiety. And I mentioned this last week, things like buses being late used to really, really traumatise me. The world was going to end because that bus was late, and I would be stood at the bus stop falling to pieces. And it's not, and I think I said last week as well, you can come away from these sessions, these courses of sessions, these 6-week programs, and it doesn't immediately hit you what but what you do is you just you at some point you start, because you have been given a toolbox, and there's quite a lot of tools in there, and it's not obvious straight away. And I found myself being able to use them, and I'm not as irrational as I used to be. I still have my moments. I mean, like the other day, I decided, because I hate shopping. I absolutely hate going for my food shopping.
You're not the only one. You're not the only one.
I hate it. It's like going to me going into a shop is like signing up for root canal treatment. It is so traumatic for me. I hate it. And
do you ever get to the point when you're going to the supermarket, say, and you're going to your partner, come on, I've got to get out, or I'll meet you outside?
Yeah, I've done that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that. Yeah. I do that all the time.
But I decided the other day, I said to my girlfriend, I said, I'm going to do a month's worth of shopping. I'm not going to put myself through this every week. I'm going to get everything I need for the next month. And it was quite successful what I was doing. I was breezing around the supermarket. So I was getting 4 packets of spicy bean burgers instead of 1. And it was quite easy. But then when I got to, then I'm walking around with this trolley that I can barely push because it's full of bottled water, fizzy water, because my children love fizzy water. And I'm and then I'm putting everything onto the checkout conveyor, and I got really, really stressed. And when I came out of the supermarket and my girlfriend was in her car, I was absolutely soaked with sweat because I had got myself into such a state. So I'm nowhere near out of the woods, and I don't think I ever will be, because I think certain behaviours and certain traits of your character are very much ingrained.
Do you get people? Do you when you're at the checkout? Do you think, oh God, I've got to hurry up here because there's people behind me and they're waiting and all that stuff? Do you ever get that?
Yeah, and I can feel pressure.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, there was nobody behind me on Sunday when I did that. But then I went to that same supermarket about 2-3 months ago, and for some reason there was a problem with the debit card machine, and it wouldn't read my card. Unfortunately, my girlfriend was out in her car and had to run out, leave the supermarket. I said, I'll be back in 2 minutes, and ask her, did she have any money on her? And I've got it into my head that my card is not going to work. And I think, and there was elements of that on Sunday.
Yeah.
But there we go.
Yeah, I used to get panic attacks a lot. I used to kind of like worry that I was dying. I got to a point where that I was dying. I was saying to my wife, because I was losing my breath and everything. And what else was I doing, Joe? I was just panicking, wasn't I? And it was really, really. And I said, ring the ambulance up, I'm dying.
Mm-hmm. It's very, I mean, that is exactly what happened to me back in 2010. I did that, like I said, I did that gig and I could not breathe. And I'd never experienced anything like that before. And that's it, I was getting tired eating. And I would sooner operate on my own body than go to a doctor and say there's something wrong with me. I will put off going to the doctor for as long as I can. And I was absolutely just that whole thing of not being able to breathe in it was very, very, very frightening.
I know,
I don't think I've ever been so scared in my life. So
I
yeah,
know.
I fully understand that.
Yeah, I remember kind of like being kind of sectioned under the 20, under the Mental Health Act, and I was in a bad way, and I went in there, and they took my shoes off me. Well, not my shoes, but they took my laces off my trainers,
Mm.
and they kind of like gave me some tablets, and the trouble is, I don't know if I told you the story, but I didn't used to smoke that much, and to even get some fresh air, I would kind of like accept a cigarette of somebody
Mm.
just to go out in the garden for around about half an hour and have a cigarette. You know what I mean? Because
Mm.
I felt like I was closed in. It was
Yeah.
like it was not a prison. It's not what people say a psychiatric unit is. It's you know, um, it's not what it's not all these like zombies walking around things like that. What people
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
It, don't take a notice of that. That's just kind of stigma.
Mm.
It's not like that. But I remember kind of like sometimes where you know I'm in there and I'm having my breakfast or my meal or something, and these people could come up and they there's a couple of people in there who was done for stabbing something, and I was thinking, oh my gosh,
Mm.
I've got problems, but this person's got more than I have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had to share this dorm, with that person.
All right.
And you're thinking sleep, at night and everything. It's like, oh my gosh, no, honestly, it was really bad.
Mm.
But I think sometimes though men are so slow at kind of asking for help. Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think men are also perhaps even slower at, recognizing and accepting within themselves that they actually need help. Um, there's this horrible pressure that's put on boys to this day, which has always been the case as far back as we can remember, where you're told to man up, you can't cry, you've got, this is how boys are, and I never ever subscribed to that as a child, which is probably why I stood out. If I was ever distressed, I had no qualms whatsoever about bursting into tears at something sad or even something beautiful at school. There were certain songs that used to make me cry because I thought they were beautiful. In the bleak midwinter, I used to sob to that.
Yeah. Do you know what I used to sob at? All things bright and beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, remember that, gosh.
Yeah.
But, it was.
But going back to what you said, I think that whole thing of being slow, I think it's possibly something that's, like I say, it's wrongly drilled into boys, which obviously it forms the foundation of their character, that they shouldn't cry, they shouldn't be sensitive, they shouldn't, man up again. That whole term, man up, which I think is the most. I think those are two of the most disgusting words put together, in my opinion. It infuriates me to hear men saying that to the children. I absolutely hate it, because it causes problems, and it causes this inability to recognise that you do need help. There's nothing wrong with asking for help, and the world is a very, very unpleasant place at the best of times. You're always living under a shadow of something. You can't listen to the radio these days without somebody. They're now not talking about COVID on the radio. They're talking about cancer, or they're talking about strokes.
Yeah.
It's this whole deal that's been pushed upon you, where you're to feel frightened and wary about something. And that's, this whole thing with, I'm not one of these conspiracy theorists about COVID or anything like that. I fully recognize it's true, it's real, and it's a killer. and we've had to do what we've had to do. Whether or not we've had to do it in the way we have, that's not a matter for me to talk about here today. But there seems to be like this project fear, which we're all living under. But it's nothing new. We've lived under project fear, for years and years and years. And if you've got that kind of pressure put on you as a human being, and you can go through everyday life for year after year after year after year, and then all of a sudden you're an old age pensioner, and you've managed to get through without any, without it affecting you at all. I think you've been a very, very, very lucky person.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I remember when I was young, and the Falkland Islands were they were at war with the Falkland Islands, and I was thinking, oh, I hope they're not going to come over here and bomb us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was likely too. We never knew that, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm a little younger than you, not much, but just a little bit. But I remember having certain anxieties during the first Gulf War. I used to lay in bed at night, absolutely convinced I was going to get drafted, and I was going to go to Afghanistan or something. As a 21-year-old, So, and these are things that but it's nothing new, because our parents had it all with, with what happened in the early 60s, the Cuban Missile thing, and then obviously there was the Second World War before that, and then there was the First World War. So this whole, this is why I say, and I don't mean it in a negative way, I mean it in a very truthful, factual way. The world is, or should I say, society, and the conditions that we all live under are not very, very pleasant most of the time. The world's a great place. Go for a walk in a forest when there's nobody around, fantastic. Listen to a beautiful song, it's brilliant. But this is the way the world is.
Yeah.
And and we shouldn't be afraid to hold our hands up at some point and say, help. I'm struggling here. I really can't. I can't be doing with this.
Yeah.
And don't even get me started on the injustices of certain things that people have to go through, which people aren't aware of. Like the mental, people are getting shortchanged at the moment with regards to mental health. You're on a waiting list forever to speak to somebody.
Yeah. I was gonna mention that next week about that, but
yeah,
you just covered that. It's true, about waiting lists. That's what I want to cover like next week about. I know people who are queuing up to go into a psychiatric unit to get help. So it's that bad. It's unbelievable, and they can't place people at the moment, and they're getting all these social workers and psychiatric nurses visiting people at home and everything. So it's really, really, really causing a lot of problems out there. So
yeah, I mean, again, a similar thing is I have been on a waiting list for, I think we're coming up to 3 years now for screening to see if I have Asperger's, to help me with my coping mechanisms, because it was put to me during my stress pack sessions that I might have symptoms and I might be on the spectrum. And because some of the coping mechanisms that I've got with regards to anxiety and what have you, there's more to it than me just being irrational. But like I say, I've been on this waiting list for getting some help and what have you with that. And there's just no funding for it.
But anyway. I know, it's terrible, isn't it? The trouble is that the funding that we need to fund, and they put it into lots of other stuff that we don't need, really, do we?
There's money out there, Steve, but
like politicians, second homes and all that lot.
Yeah.
And you know what really, really pees me off?
Go on.
Really pees me off. It's these, sorry, it's these politicians on a Wednesday. They go along and they get paid £500. Honestly, they get £500 to go to the House of Commons, to sit in the House of Commons, right? And next minute they got, they got the they got the sovereign crown and things like that, and they're talking about Parliament business and all that lot. And
Mm,
next minute you got people on their bloody phones,
mm,
right? Or they're gonna guess,
yeah.
and they're supposed to be representing our country.
Hmm.
That really, really gets my goat.
Listen, I could give you a 5 hour show talking about how um, politics and the government, is seriously affecting my mental health. It is appalling. It is absolutely
Well, we'll
appalling.
talk about that next week, but and things like that.
I
But
might,
I
I might, might be very angry next week after what happens on Thursday, but
think what
we
you
shall
do
we shall see.
Thursday.
It's the elections, isn't it? We've got we're going to the polling stations, and we're you know
Yeah,
I've got a horrible sinking feeling that this disgusting stuff that's flying around at the moment about our current government, it's not going to make the slightest bit of difference to the voter, and I despair.
yeah. I think that the government is in the right mess.
Mm.
I don't know if you've been seeing me on Twitter, but my wife would tell you how many times I've been on Twitter, kind of like, I'll make things up, post this up, and put it on Twitter, and I'm always getting bored, told taken off Twitter.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, um, it's but the trouble is, you see, it's not going to make no difference at the end of the day. All
no,
I can say to you is money talks
and it buys very expensive wallpaper.
and decorating stuff. Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. One day Rolf Harris might come around and do some decorating for him.
Rolf Harris. I'm saying nothing more.
I bet you. I bet that made you laugh, didn't it?
It made me laugh in the wrong way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? But you know what I'm getting at. But the trouble is, right? Even if we go and vote, right, and all of a sudden, say like Labour wins or whatever,
Hmm.
you know, what can they do? Because at the end of the day, the Conservatives are in power anyway already.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So what
Well,
can
it's
they?
not going to make any difference to what's going to happen because we've got, unless something really drastic comes along, we've got another 3.5 years of a
Boris, yeah, yeah,
a conservative government at least.
yeah,
Boris, you never know, could could be persona non grata very shortly. But again, I don't think he will be. I think he's going to walk away from all of this without a scratch, and it
yeah,
annoys me. It
yeah,
truly annoys me because
yeah,
if anybody else was doing the terrible job, they'd have been held accountable and they'd be out of that job. It's been calamitous
yeah. I
on
know.
every level I can possibly think
I
of.
think it's more with the co. All I'm saying is I'm going to say this and I'm going to leave it. But with the COVID, I think it's something really dodgy.
You're talking about the Great Reset, or whatever they call it. Are you?
Mm, I've got to be careful what I'm saying, but you've got to be. I think so. Yeah, yeah. Mm.
Mm,
I think you kind of like I don't know. I think it's. Someone said to me. Someone said to me the other day. They said, "You know what COVID happened, don't you?" I said, "Why?" Because this world is overpopulated.
mm. Could be true. But again, I won't deny that it's a serious thing because I genuinely believe it's one of those. it's an epidemic that's swept the world, like epidemics have in the past and will in the future. I just think that the measures and the response, certainly in this country, have been inappropriate and highly questionable.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes, I think it needs to look at. I think it needs to be looked at carefully, and I think the House of Lords need to sort something out. But it's trouble is, O'Shea, we're under a government which they're dodgy too.
Yeah, and they are being, as far as I can see and as far as I can tell, they've been enabled. And I think if the Conservatives have a good day on Thursday, we deserve what we get.
Another 6 years of Boris.
Well, we're not going to get another 6 years of Boris. What I mean by that is that if we're going to turn our heads away from what Boris is doing as an individual, let alone as a politician, and we, I think as a country, it deserves what it gets, which is a horrible thing to say because good people are getting sort of like left behind, and hardworking people are getting left behind, and they're getting trodden on. I just don't think it, and I don't think it's right. What he's doing, and I think he needs to receive a short, sharp shock at the ballot box. And he's not going. I don't think he's going to get that on Thursday. He's going to get validation. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I know.
And again, that affects. That can affect me from a mental health point of view because I just see injustice.
Yeah. I think, I'll probably get torn off for this now, but at the end of the day, all I can say, if you vote for Conservatives, then I think you will. Yeah. Well, there you go. I'm not saying no more. I've been torn off loads of times. I just think I can't get sacked though, so it's my own thing, So
you could get a Facebook ban, be in Facebook jail for a month for extreme views.
Yeah, well, they can try. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
but I'll be back. I don't give up. Yeah. I never do that.
Just say to them, Steve, when you see Boris's invoices, you'll apologise and take it all back.
I don't think I will, because it's not going to happen.
No.
I think he's made some big, bad decisions with this COVID situation. And I think lockdown some of it was complete waste of space. And all the money that they've given out, that they're never going to claw back, and people's lost their jobs, people's, self-employed, and loads of people, relationships has been spoiled because of all the, all the mess that this government has caused. But
and the loneliness and the despair that's been rampant. It's heartbreaking.
It is, isn't it? Anyway, I don't want to kind of like I don't want to end on a kind of like a downward spiral. Let's
end on a high. Have you got any good jokes to share? Have you got a joke for us to say goodnight with?
No, I haven't got a joke to spare. No, but what I can tell you is this: that in life, we all go through some bad times. But what you got to remember is this: before you're going to get to the good, you got to go through the bad, then you get to the good. If we make it in life, and the trouble is, in life, there's loads of things that surround us will make us smile. You know,
Yeah.
you only got to go down to the beach, see the sea, or go to I don't know, go for a walk and listen to the birds and everything, or whatever, or just kind of like watch something funny or on
Yeah.
TV, you know. But you know, you just got to keep smiling, didn't you?
Yeah. There's a lot of beauty in this world, and it can usually be found in it's usually hiding in plain sight, and it usually doesn't cost a penny. The
It
best
doesn't.
things in life.
It doesn't like you know. It doesn't cost a penny. All you got to do is just enjoy life because one day we're not going to be here.
Hmm.
And I'm not trying to be morbid, but you know, thanks. She's showing me some pictures saying that's me. But the trouble is, you know, we all I can say is like, you know, never give up. You know, times can be rough and times can be tough,
Yeah.
but never give up because there's a lot that we are looking forward to. And
Hmm.
you know, there might be bad times that hit us, but once you're on the floor, get back up.
Yeah.
You know, and keep going. You know, I was
Yeah.
like you. You know, I was a loner at school. You know, I used to carry a Bible, I had a Bible with me. That's all I had
Mm.
in my life was me and my faith when I was around about 13. You know, I had a
Yeah.
Bible. I was well into it, and you know, it's called Bible Basher and all sorts of things. But it didn't worry me. It was like it was me and my faith. You know,
Hmm.
and that's you know, I was teased, I was bullied, I was beaten. And when I was about 15, I thought, oh, I've had enough of this. And, you know, this guy who I know for a long time who was bullying me, beating me, put it this way, he never did it again.
Right.
And, you know, um, I just had enough, completely had enough. And,
Hmm.
you know, and sometimes we do get, we do, we do kind of like say it's enough. But, you know, we go to a certain point in life where we think, oh well, that's it. I'm gonna give up on life and everything. But how about your family? How about your wife? How about your children and everything else you got? What they going to do without you?
Hmm.
That's all I say.
Yeah.
So keep smiling, everybody. And if you don't smile, don't bother coming on here because I hate people kind of like you know being so miserable and all that. Like. And Mark, I love talking to you once again. You're
Thank you.
you're a good man. You're a good man. And don't forget follow Mark. And listen, people, if you're in the area where Mark lives, give him a gig, birthday, no excuse. It's a birthday, christening. You do christenings, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does
I even, I
birthdays.
even I even do funerals, believe it or not.
Right, okay. He does, yeah, he does marriages, he does funerals, he does, not, well, not that in, you know, in an order, marriages and funerals. Sometimes I've been married for so long now, I feel like a funeral. But no, marriages, funerals, guys, christenings, whatever. Even if you want to knees up, you know, contact Mark and he would do it for you. You know, it's you know because that's what he likes doing. And sometimes in life, you know we got to do things that we like doing, but never give up on it.
Hmm.
Keep smiling, you, and I'll see you again. Don't laugh. Just keep smiling. That's it. I like to see you smile. Right,
Dimples, aren't we dimples?
dimples, yeah, no, dimples, yeah, yeah. You know what you laughing for?
It's a nervous laugh because I don't know what else to do.
No, I don't. But there you go. You know. But anyway, all I can say is this: go to see your girlfriend now and tell her that you love her. Okay, and I
Right.
bet you'll be a
Okay.
better. Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
good man.
She's phoning me after anyway to give me feedback because she's watching. Hello, Melanie.
Ah, right, Melanie. Ah, right. Okay. No. No, this guy here, lovely guy he is. He, he wants to find out. He wants to know when you're going to get married to him.
Oh Lord.
So if you want, so so Mark, there's a chance here that you could. Yeah, he loves you. He does. Don't worry about him. I will kind of like take him off. Yeah, Mark loves you so much that he wants to marry you. Yeah, okay. So, look, you see him smiling there, look. So that means it's right. Anyway, I don't want to embarrass him no more. He's had enough embarrassment.
You've gone beyond embarrassing me, Steve.
I know. He's been praising you, he has. Really, really praising you. Anyway, see you later, Mark.
See you later. Bye bye.
Let us know when you're getting married, mate.
You'll be the first to know.
Okay. See you later, Mo. Don't forget, get a golden ring off him. He's got the money. Hi, folks. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.